Last night's episode of Monday Night Raw was a tremendous, entertaining 3 hours of storytelling and in-ring action, but it did have 4 issues. What are those 4 issues? Well, let's break them down segment by segment, emoji by emoji. You're watching Allison Analysis. Before we get started, please like and subscribe. It helps us out massively. Let's kick things off with the in-ring promo between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. This gets a thumbs up from me. I mean, Drew McIntyre on the mic, he's always great. Damian Priest is always good. At least, this week, both men were in the ring, really building the storyline ahead of their match at Clash at the Castle. But this does bring us up to issue number 1. And this issue is, why on earth did Damian Priest just happily say, well, the Judgment Day don't have to be at ringside? Like, this was like a half face, half heel type thing, where it's like, well, if you're going to be a face, just say, hey, they won't be at ringside. And if you're going to be a heel, say, well, they are going to be at ringside. And have the general manager, say, hey, they might not be at ringside. You got to prove yourself tonight, or something like that. This was just all very random. The fact that Damian Priest was like, hey, Drew, if you don't want them at ringside, they don't have to be. You just got to beat Balor. It was all very, very confusing. I didn't really understand it. That is issue number 1. But talking about issues, well, dirty Dominic Mysterio certainly has some on his hands, doesn't he? Because Liv Morgan gave him her hotel room key. Oh, things are heating up, aren't they? I feel like, if I watch this segment for another 2 minutes, a dodgy ad might pop up about the Bang Bang Gang or something like that. I mean, this is all getting a little bit too heated for PG television. But talking about things being heated, Lyra Valkyria and Io Sky cooked with their match last night. Absolutely fantastic. These two ladies are phenomenal. Lyra Valkyria has been called up to the main roster, and week upon week she is impressed. Seriously, this young lady has such a bright future. She could be one of the faces of this women's division for years and years to come. I'm going to be honest here, I really didn't see her being pushed as fast as she has been. I didn't think that she was going to be one of the breakouts from this NXT Women's Division, but boy oh boy has she been, and since she's arrived on Raw, they pushed her to the moon. This deserves a subtle round of applause from me. But I'm once again going to give another round of applause because up next we had a 6-man tag team match between Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Braun Strowman against Carlito, JD McDonough, and Dirty Dominic Mysterio, who once again made me think that I was watching, not Monday Night Raw. Or maybe Monday Night Raw in a different context, who knows? Because Liv Morgan accidentally fell on top of him during this match in a very, I don't know how to explain it, but a very dirty position, let's just say that much. But the match itself was really fun, so yeah, it gets a subtle round of applause. 6-man tag team matches, when done right, are always fun. There's always a lot of action, and this was that. But this does bring us on to issue number 2, because when Liv Morgan was in a dirty position on top of Dirty Dom, well, Zelina Vega decided to attack her. And I'm confused, because why would Zelina attack Liv when Liv was distracting the team which Zelina's team were up against? I don't get it. Unless, conspiracy time, Zelina's now interested in Dirty Dom too. Dirty Dom, the Pete Davidson of professional wrestling? I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. What's he got? Clearly something. But yeah, this segment was a lot of fun. But, I don't know why Zelina did attack Liv. Otis then lost to Sami Zayn because of Chad Gable. This was decent. This was nothing special. After the match, Otis got a little bit mad. He was going to take out Chad Gable, accidentally took out Sami Zayn, but he couldn't stop himself. Otis was just seeing red, and yeah, he just completely beat down Sami Zayn, and then had to calm himself down before he almost took out Chad Gable after as well. The post-match was more impressive than the match itself. The post-match gets a thumbs up. The match itself advanced the storyline, did its job, but ultimately was just decent. Now on to issue number 3, and issue number 3 is very, very simply, why on earth did Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler defeat Alba Fire and Isla Dawn the week before, the championship match? I don't understand this, because now from a storyline perspective, well, why should Isla Dawn and Alba Fire even be in the match this Saturday at Clash at the Castle? I don't get that one bit. was just very confusing to me, and the match I didn't really care for at all. And to think, I mean, when they were all making their, entrances to the ring, I thought to myself, hey, they're doing a great job with the women's tag team division right now. But this booking, I think, was just, quite frankly, it was bad. But something that was certainly not bad was Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov, because these guys, they can take my money. Braun Breaker, seriously, I don't think it's a if he will be a WWE champion, if he will be a world champion. I think it's a when will he be a world champion. And honestly, it could be in this calendar year. Truthfully, it could be before the Royal Rumble. This guy has just been a breakout star. Braun Breaker. I mean, honestly, I'd genuinely be surprised if before WrestleMania he isn't a world champion. This guy, he's getting some of the loudest reactions from the crowd. He's one of the most entertaining parts of Monday Night Raw. He looks like a star. He's got the aura of a star. I mean, hey, it might just be time to push this guy into that main event scene. And he beat Ilya Dragunov, who they also clearly have big plans for. So the fact that he, got this win, it does make me think that, hey, in the near future, Braun Breaker might be coming for either Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, whoever is holding the gold, even Gunther. Because let's not forget, by the way, guys, there's only been 3 guys in recent history to defeat Gunther. One of them, of course, is current Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. One of them is Ilya Dragunov. And the other one is Braun Breaker. But up next, I'm going to have to put my conspiracy hat on, because the Judgment Day all agreed backstage that, hey, they need to get Liv Morgan out of their minds. They need to get rid of the room card key. But guess what? Finn Balor took the room card key. And listen, we of course saw Liv Morgan and Finn Balor in segments together about a month ago. And I reckon we've got this all wrong. I don't think that Liv Morgan is going to be able to turn Dominic Mysterio. I think Finn Balor is the one orchestrating all of this. I think Balor and Liv Morgan are in cahoots. And in reality, this is how Finn Balor is going to take down the Judgment Day from the inside. I reckon all our theories, they're all wrong. Balor's going to ruin the Judgment Day, and he's using Liv Morgan to do it. This segment, it deserves a subtle round of applause from me, and I am loving the layers to this storyline. Up next, we have issue number 4, and issue number 4 is the Tag Team Reign of Awesome Truth. I'm just going to say it. This tag team title reign so far has absolutely sucked. The booking for it has been next to non-existent. The backstage segments are getting less funny by the week, and I like humor in my wrestling. I like Miz and Truth, I really, really do. But they should not be tag team champions. I said it WrestleMania season and everybody said I was wrong. I was like, well, maybe I am wrong, but hey, they've been champions now for 3 months, and they've done next to nothing with these belts. The booking of them has been atrocious, and quite frankly, I want the belts off them ASAP. I would have been fine if, the Authors of Pain last night won the tag team championships. In fact, I was rooting for them. They didn't win, because instead the New Day cost them the victory, which of course makes sense in storyline, but this Awesome Truth tag team reign has just been absolutely pointless. There's been nothing awesome about it, and this segment, this match, I didn't care for. At this point, we went backstage, and Ricochet was helping Dragunov get, I guess, towards an ambulance or the medical room or something after his match against Braun Breaker. But not so fast, because Braun Breaker broke this man. Ricochet was ricocheting off everything in the arena. He ricocheted off the big van he was slammed into, and then Braun Breaker put him through a glass windshield on a car. He went away in an ambulance, and something which I loved about this was his girlfriend, who they've made a big deal of on television, of course, his relationship with Samantha Irvine. Well, Samantha got in the ambulance with him and said, hey, I'm going with him to the hospital. I love that touch because, of course, they've made it clear, especially in that Logan Paul storyline, that Ricochet and Samantha are together. This was brilliant. I love the attention to detail. And Ricochet, well, he's gone for the foreseeable future. Braun Breaker broke that man. But that deserves a subtle round of applause. But something else which deserves a subtle round of applause was what happened next. Because Pat McAfee was like, well, hey, Samantha's gone, and of course I can never do her job, but I'm going to try to. And he announced Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre for the main event. And it was hilarious. What can't Pat McAfee do? He's honestly just one of the... He's one of the GOATs of our generation. He really, really is. I mean, GOATs of our generation makes no sense. But he really is one of the best right now at just broadcasting in general. Pat McAfee is him. Then in the main event, Finn Balor, Drew McIntyre. These guys deserve a subtle round of applause. It was a fun main event. Nothing, overly special, but it did its job. And the big headline coming out of it was Drew McIntyre won, which means at Clash at the Castle, there will be no Judgment Day at ringside. But that doesn't mean there won't be a CM Punk. I've got a bad feeling about this. It's so obvious to me that CM Punk is going to cost Drew McIntyre at Clash, and I really hope he doesn't. I want Drew McIntyre to win, and then I'd be fine with, CM Punk, costing Drew McIntyre. Well, not even costing him, just attacking Drew McIntyre after he wins the belt. Clark Taylor said it on last night's Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast that just makes a lot more sense than Punk attacking McIntyre during the match, because if Punk attacks him after the match, ruins his celebration, well then it means he's got a world championship opportunity basically, because their feud will be for that championship. Now I don't think that's going to happen unfortunately, but I really, really hope it does. But in reality, I reckon Damian Priest is going to win because of Drew McIntyre. Not because of Drew McIntyre, because of CM Punk. There's too many names here, but hey, at the end of the day, it's obvious, but I'm sure it'll be a fun match. But hey, despite the 4 issues of last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, it was still entertaining, it was easy to watch, it told and advanced a lot of storylines, and it was fun from an in-ring perspective. What more do you want? It's going to get a subtle round of applause from me. At the minute, Monday Night Raw is just on a great, great run. Since WrestleMania, it's probably been my favorite weekly show. It's, for so many years, Monday Night Raw felt like a slog to watch. But finally now, once again, somehow these 3 hours are just flying by. There's so many storylines. There's so many great matches. It almost feels like the perfect wrestling show. I mean, for years we were saying 3 hours is just too long for a weekly wrestling show. But now, maybe now it turns out it's just right. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and all of that good stuff on YouTube. I'll be back on Thursday to give some analysis for AEW Dynamite. And of course, don't forget to watch Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast every day, 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 12 p.m. Pacific. I will see you guys there. Peace.